The following contains graphic and possibly disturbing imagery. Viewer discretion is advised. You can't unsee that. Kmart shoppers are left spooked after spotting terrifying demonic face in a popular framed canvas. A spooked shopper has claimed she can see a terrifying demonic face in the black and white clouds of her $19 Kmart framed canvas. The Australian woman said she had the print hanging above her bed, but upon closer inspection she spotted the eerie facial features of a demon in the clouds. So after finding a demonic face in this picture, I don't want it above our bed anymore. Where else can I hang a cloudy picture, she said in a Facebook group. Many terrified people quickly responded to the thread, urging the woman to get rid of the popular canvas or burn it. Once you have seen it in the picture, you can't unsee it. I would get rid of it, one said, while another added, "Oh dear, I can see it. Looks evil." Many shared other creepy things they spotted in the print, such as a screaming face trying to escape an army of demons or a mutated baby alien. I might just have a really creepy mind, but I can see a mutated baby alien face happening there too, one said. Another said, "I actually see a shadowy face like you see in the 2D pregnancy ultrasounds, and now I can't unsee the creepy faces." Others told the woman to burn the canvas because it's not worth the stress. Everything is perception. We all see different things, but I say if it makes you uncomfortable, then get rid of it and sage your home for peace of mind, one said. Another added, "You'll never stop seeing it. Get rid of it. It's not worth the stress." However, many skeptic people said they can only see clouds, while others who own the same print said they have spotted a turtle's head. "If you look hard enough, you can see a demonic face in anything," one skeptic woman said. Another shopper said, "Mine's hung the other way around, and all I can see is a turtle face right in the middle." And it isn't the first time Kmart shoppers have claimed to see an eerie image in their print. Last year, hundreds of people claimed they saw an eerie feature of a ghostly woman in the background of her Kmart print of a Highland cow. Courtesy of dailymail.co.uk. The story of the serial killer who made clowns scary. Killer clowns are everywhere thanks to the film remake of Stephen King's It and American Horror Story Cult. Clowns are scary because they have unpredictable motives, are otherworldly, have exaggerated features, and wear makeup that dehumanizes them. In short, the human brain finds it hard to understand clowns. That wasn't always the case, however. One clown might have ruined it for everyone: serial killer John Wayne Gacy. Gacy was a prolific serial killer who was active from 1972 to 1978 in Chicago. He was convicted of killing 33 people in 1980, and in the ensuing decades, DNA analysis has been used to attempt to identify 8 victims who have long been unknown. They have only succeeded in identifying 2 of them. One of those, 16-year-old James Byron Hankerson, was only identified in June. All of Gacy's victims were young men and teenage boys. Gacy worked at children's parties as a character named Pogo the Clown. He was then dubbed the Killer Clown by the media during his trial. Gacy was jailed until his execution by lethal injection in 1994, and while incarcerated, he painted numerous portraits of Pogo that are beyond creepy. Gacy as Pogo shaped his mouth into pointy tips rather than rounding them to be kid-friendly. He lured young men to his home under the premise of offering them construction work, and sometimes dressed as Pogo the Clown when he killed them. Stephen King's It was published in 1986, not long after the Gacy case, and prosecution would have played out all over the media. King says his direct inspiration was the idea of writing a story about a troll under a bridge, but he had also said he wanted to play on a childhood fear of clowns. That fear was probably driven into overdrive when moms told their kids in the 80s to behave, or a killer clown like Gacy might get them as a cautionary tale. In it, the clown preys on innocent children by discovering their worst fears. We live in a world where we're still discovering the identities of real-life killer clowns' victims. It's no surprise that killer clowns are experiencing a resurgence in pop culture. Let's just hope they don't start popping up in your neighborhood. Courtesy of Refinery29.com. Sightings of the Tasmanian tiger thought to be extinct for 80 years reported by the Australian government. Sightings of the Tasmanian tiger, a large carnivorous marsupial thought to be extinct since 1936, have been reported as recently as 3 months ago, according to the Australian government. The details of the 8 supposed sightings of the animal, also known as the thylacine, in recent years were released by the Department of Primary Industries, Parks, Water and Environment in Tasmania. In July, a man reported seeing a footprint on Sleeping Beauty Mountain, according to the document. The man stated he believes the print belonged to a Tasmanian tiger after he went home and Googled photos of it. In November 2018, a woman reported seeing what she believed to be a Tasmanian tiger and 2 cubs at the Harts Mountains National Park, and 2 people reported seeing the animal after it walked out in front of them while driving in Corinna, describing it as bigger than a fox, but smaller than a German Shepherd with stripes down its back. 4 other sightings were reported between February 2016 and February 2018, according to the document. A man also reported in August that he believes he saw a Tasmanian tiger on his land about 7 years ago. The Tasmanian tiger is the largest carnivorous marsupial of recent times and was found on the Australian mainland and the island of New Guinea, according to Britannica. It was also presumed to be extinct after the last captive animal died in 1936 at the Hobart Zoo in Tasmania. The animal, which has the face of a fox and yellowish-brown fur and stripes along its back, hunted at night for wallabies and birds. While it has the skull similar to that of a dog, the females have a shallow pouch that can carry 2 to 4 young at a time. Courtesy of abcnews.com. Never ever visit a national park. The National Park Service is an awesome place to experience breathtaking views, towering forests, and picturesque landscapes, as well as extremely spooky vanishings, unsolved disappearances, and mysterious discoveries of human remains. The Smoky Mountain Mysteries is one such case. 3 unsolved disappearances have haunted the Great Smoky Mountains National Park for over 4 decades. The first took place on June 4th, 1969, when 6-year-old Dennis Martin was scheming with his brother and 2 other boys in the park's Spence Field while on an annual camping trip. They were planning to sneak up on their family and startle them. But when the boys ran and jumped on the adults, Dennis was nowhere to be found. On October 8, 1976, while on a horticulture field trip with 40 of her classmates, 16-year-old Trini Lynn Gibson was hiking along Andrews Bald. No one can recall seeing her after 3 p.m. Searches continued for months, but no trace of Gibson was ever found. 58-year-old Thelma Pauline Melton was hiking near Deep Creek Campground, a trail she's been on many times before, on September 25, 1981. She was with friends when she walked ahead of them and vanished over a hill, but they couldn't find her on the other side, nor could they find her at the campground where she was staying. All 3 disappearances ignited massive search efforts. Dennis Martin's cost was over $65,000, but not a single trace of them ever turned up. The Cowden Family Massacre. 7.5 months after the Cowden family was reported missing in 1974, police found their bodies. The Cowdens had gone camping in the Susu Mountains in Applegate, Oregon over Labor Day weekend in 1974, but failed to show up for dinner at Richard Cowden's mother's house on September the 1st. Media accounts from the time described their campsite as undisturbed, as if the family left abruptly. Investigators later postulated that they had been abducted. Their bodies were discovered in April 1975, about 100 feet from the campsite. Richard's body was found tied to a tree, while the bodies of his wife and 2 small children were found in a cave with rocks sealing the entrance. Dwayne Lee Little, a rapist and serial killer serving 2 life sentences, allegedly confessed to a fellow inmate that he murdered the Cowdens while on parole, but there was no conviction and the case remains open. Death Valley Germans. Death Valley National Park is an eerie stretch of arid land that covers 3 million acres along the border of California and Nevada. Considered the hottest location in North America, park rangers constantly remind visitors not to underestimate the Mojave sun. During a record streak of 120-degree days in July 1996, 4 German tourists went missing. The last known trace of the group was a guest book signature in a box at a small ghost town that read 7/23/96, Connie Egbert, George Max, we are going through the pass. Rangers assumed this referred to the Mengel Pass. The family wasn't on their return flight on July 29th, and Interpol listed them as missing on August 14th. Their locked rental van was discovered abandoned on October 23rd with 3 flat tires, courtesy of NewYorkPost.com. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe if you hope to sleep tight.